What did Hugo Boss teach me about brand protection? In this video, you're going to learn about how to protect your brand in the retail market. Worked for some fantastic brands throughout my time in the fashion industry. I've been lucky enough to work for Hugo Boss, and they taught me so much about brand. And I just wanted to share some retail tips with you on that thought process, and when you're dealing with such a large brand, and ways to protect it or ways to present it as you wish to in the market. So let's talk fashion. When I worked for Hugo Boss, the collection was already designed by the team in Germany, and it was my job to present that collection and support the buying process in the collection that translated into a UK market or European market. My responsibilities was to look after the UK and Europe, parts of Europe. So I looked after all the buyers that every season wanted to buy into Hugo Boss. I would support their budget, understand their budget, break down their budget to make sure that the budget represented the correct styles that we as a brand wanted to get across into the market for that new season. Recognizing that independent stores and buyers and department stores would want to repeat on the styles that brought them in money every season, the basic styles, the basic and commercial styles that pulled a huge audience. But also it was the designer's wish to make sure that the Boss collection, the new season, was represented in the correct manner, and that was my job. It was also my job to protect the brand and protect the independents really, and the buyers of right through from retail to wholesale, to make sure that there were no clashes, double ups, too many in a certain postcode. This is why I'm sharing this information, because if you're growing as a brand and you're seeing yourself as a very permanent fixture in the market, and you want to grow and you're here for the longevity, it's really key for you to understand who you're selling your product to. Where is it? What's the postcode of that area? How far away is the next? And is there a clash of interest? So also it was really important for Boss to make sure that the brand was presented in the best light, the right store, the right message, the right environment for the collection to sit in. And it was also my job to understand that and to make sure that people were trained on how to talk about Hugo Boss, how to present Hugo Boss, and how to advise on the brand for the correct customer. Sometimes I used to come into difficult conversations where Hugo Boss wasn't able to be stocked in a certain outlet, whether it be a department store or whether it be an independent retailer. Very often there were people on the waiting list for sometimes season upon season upon season to actually be able to stock Hugo Boss. But Hugo Boss was very strict on their guidelines and their brand parameters. And the learns that I've taken from that is I couldn't have worked for a stronger brand or been taught by a stronger brand. Their message throughout the whole world is high standard, and they will always keep to their brand guidelines, and they will always keep to what they set out to want to be perceived as in the market. So my advice is, whether you are a large brand, whether you are a small brand, whether you're up and coming, whether you're just in the stages of research, make sure that your guidelines for yourself or for your team around you or for the people that you're signing off with or reporting into, make sure your message is clear, and don't be afraid to stick to that message, even if it means declining on what you might see at that time as growth or opportunity. Make sure, if that message isn't correct at that time, follow it through, because the longevity of your design, oops a daisy, the longevity of your design process will only therefore be a positive one, because the message in the market will be continuous, it will be consistent, and it will be extremely strong. So I think the message to take from here, particularly if you're a brand and you're in wholesale, make sure that your packs, your clothing packs, your units are never sold to too many in the same region or in the same area, the same postcode. Make sure that for yourself, for your own reputation, and for your independent or customer or wholesaler, make sure that they have a fair opportunity in building their customer within that region. There is you can set out the rules of distance between postcodes and how many perhaps retailers you want in that street. Everything about the brand is down to your say so. There is no wrong and right on how you want your brand to act and behave. But once you've decided on those behaviors, stick to them, because that is what is going to build a very strong brand, and it will create demand and it will create respect. I hope this helps and I hope this is interesting. And if you do want to know a little bit more about me, please head to my bio. You'll see my Stand Store link. Comment fashion and I'll send you a free strategy call anyway. But I'm excited to help you along your journey. And I do offer other services within my Stand Store, but feel free to book yourself in for a free call if you want to have a chat to see if I can benefit your process. Until the next time, thank you very much for listening and speak to you soon. Bye-bye.